Alright, welcome everyone to round 7 in Division 2. We are here for our second random Grand Prix evening of the season, and we have been chosen to go to Hungary. So here we are at the Hungaroring, very, very famous track, but also known as Monaco without the walls. So here we are, we have two DRS straights of 4.381 kilometers of track with 14 turns and a decent overtaking opportunity into turn 1, and if you can follow it through, you can go through turn 2 as well. But other than that, pretty difficult to overtake. And through sector 2 and sector 3, you just gotta follow so you can get it in sector 1. Finally, we have our standings here. So here we go. We'll go with the driver standings first. In P1, we have Simon Colston, who's had a great run. These are not updated whatsoever. Hold on real quick so I can get us updated, but I can assure you Simon is doing just fine. Alright, I'll take these down and just read it off to you as it is updated. So we have Simon Colston in P1. As I said, he is 29 points clear of Stelios Repas, who's been on an uprise recently. 3 podiums in the last 3 races. Then we have Matteo in the Mercedes. Then it's Blake, Mac, Tinel, John Ranger, Itzrai, Jolgron, Rigraf, Avira, Dan, NVA, Spanini, Wild Fury, Sleek, Kiwi, Logan, Roldy, and Cole Cummins. Sorry that we didn't have those updated, but I can assure you they are up to date and ready for round 7. Our constructor standings, we have Alpine firmly in the lead by, I believe, if I can count correctly, that is 42 points, and then behind them is Mercedes, then it's Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, Ferrari, Red Bull, Haas, Williams, McLaren, and Aston Martin. So now that we got the standings out of the way, we are here for qualifying in the Hungaroring. I am your host Nathan Doan, and with me in the booth, first time someone's been in the booth in a long time, we have none other than Big Mama Frank. How are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing well. It's cold, man. It's so cold everywhere right now. My toes are falling off, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, Hungary selected 2 hours prior to the start of the stream. I mean, what's your opinion on the track? I know it's a bit tricky to just overtake here, but I mean, it's different for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, with the game, overtaking happens a little bit easier than it does in real life. But I mean, just for me and this track never really got along. I just always struggle on this track. There's just something about like every corner here is like a medium speed corner. I wouldn't even call it a medium speed corner. It's like halfway between like a low speed and a medium speed corner. There's like one time maybe in the turn 1 where you'll use your entire brakes, and outside of that, it's just for whatever reason I just can never kind of get the car to go where I want it to, and I always struggle here. When we did the race last season, my pace was okay from the Division 3 that we were doing. Uh, it just was such a struggle for me. It's just so much perpetual understeer, just tires overheating at times you don't want them to. It's definitely a challenging track.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, tire wear is pretty huge here, so all these drivers will be tested a little bit. We have our first hot lap of the session. We are on board here with Sleek in the McLaren here. So I'll take us through a lap here into turn 1. As you said, the only place where you really use all of your brakes, and he does just that. And then we got our second DRS straight. He is a bit slidey on the exit of turn 1, but into turn 2 he goes. It's a left-hander, a bit downhill too. So tricky corner for sure, easy to lock up, but he takes it very nicely. Then flat out through turn 3 and up into a very, very tricky turn 4. Nearly, well, a little bit of a downshift and a left, but we are good. And he has a car right in front of him, Alpine nearly taking him out, but it's alright. Then climbing through the gears on an uphill right-hander, then a very tricky chicane, easy to lock up, and you don't want to take too much of these curves, but he's done it just fine. Then, as you said, BMF, a lot of medium speed corners in sector 2. So here we go, he's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him. It's another Alpine, not really been his friend today. But then into another pretty big braking zone here as we enter sector 3. Takes it very nicely. And then he only has 2 more corners to go. This can be a tricky corner. Don't want to get on the exit curb or the outside curb as you enter into the corner. He doesn't. He keeps it very nice. Then the final corner, another medium speed corner. and then to the line he goes. It's going to be, what time is it going to be? It's going to be a 1:17.1 for the McLaren driver. So not a bad lap to start us off here, and I think he had a bit more in the tank, but hey, it's only his first lap.
Yeah, first lap, and I think you kind of see the issue there when you go out that early. Um, he was literally just running into the back of everyone just starting their out lap, so he had to drive through the entire grid just to do his hot lap. So there is kind of a value to staying in sync, and kind of what that means is, for anyone who doesn't understand, is you kind of want to go out for your qualifying when everyone else goes out, so you're never running into traffic like that in the middle of your lap. I think we saw last night with D2 when they did Qatar, Jack Fletcher tried to do his last go right as everyone else was starting their final out lap, and he just ran into the entire grid through his final attempt. So it can definitely help you a lot, as you can see with Mac, with more clean air, a lot quicker lap.
Yeah, Mac's been kind of a sleeper driver, and so has Cole Cummins. I mean, Cole is 20th in the standings, and he's still quite up there with the times that we've set so far. But there is John Ranger, new to Red Bull, or not new, but coming back to Red Bull for Division 2, in replacement of you, actually. And he set the fastest lap.
I've actually got telemetry open, so we're actually looking at what looks like full wet to start the race, and then it should transition into dry towards the second half. So that should definitely mix things up a little bit more.
Yeah, and I was expecting this, but here we are. Our Alpine contenders are 1 and 2 once again in qualifying. Whether that'll stay, I don't know, but these two have been easily the strongest pairing of the season in Division 2, and that's been very clear as we know they're first in the constructors standings. I can only see it going up from there. We have something going on in it's Joel Guron and I believe in AlphaTauri, who may have collided or maybe just went slow, maybe a bit of a misunderstanding. I don't know. All I know is that Joel had to reset the track, so no idea what's going on with him, but just qualifying in Hungary, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we've heard it before, like just Monaco without walls, it is pretty tight. So sometimes there you can have an issue trying to find open space to get out of people's way.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
From what I understand from the pregame chat, I think Joel is actually back on controller, so he was pretty quick back in his controller days. I'm curious if he's doing that again, if he's actually going through with that. Says I know he's just been kind of grinding iRacing recently and just been kind of ignoring the F1 game. But we'll see. Like, I mean, if he does better than he did last week, where he crashed out like lap 2 or whatever at Monaco, then he's probably on controller.
Yeah, and I mean, with what happened on his first go out on track here, I mean, whether it's a blessing or a curse, we're yet to find out. We still have a Vera yet to set a hot lap, and he might have gotten purple sector 1. I don't know. That's just what the track map tells me, but we know Vera is quite a bit quick, so we'll see what he can do. I mean, his teammate is third right now and behind only the 2 Alpines, so if Vera can bring it up to where his teammate's at, I think that'd be a great showing for Red Bull. If I'm not mistaken, I think Red Bull are second in the constructors standings right now. Let me just check that out real quick. Actually, no, that's a complete lie. They're sixth. So if they want to improve their standing position, Avira is gonna have to pull some work as well as John Ranger. So across the line with Avira now, goes sixth fastest. I think that'd be a pretty good starting position for the 2 Red Bulls.
Yeah, Avira's been kind of like solidly like 10, 11, 12th all season. Definitely been caught up in a lot of incidents, unluckily for him. But he's very solid driver and really good teammate too. He's just a really cool dude. So I'm happy we're able to kind of get, introduce him to this league since it's his first season here. So I'm excited to have him around. And there goes Stelios again, beating his own lap time by 2 more tenths, so extend that lead by 6 tenths. Or up to 6 tenths, excuse me. Cal and I have joked a lot since before the season, since we had to do um, kind of to talk to drivers, see about availability, place drivers in each division and whatnot. And we've had a lot of jokes about people who are sandbagging intentionally, things like that. Stelios is like the only person um, who was D1 last season and then got placed D2, who just went with the flow, never said anything. He just got placed in here purely by rating, and he's been doing quite well. So if he was sandbagging last season, good job to him. But he didn't sandbag to us in DMs or anything like that. So Stelios is definitely on another level in terms of D2 at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievably quick. Simon, he's had the results all season long. Today he is not here. But, I mean, with the amount of pace that Celius has been showing recently, especially in qualifying, I think he could probably bring the fight to Simon and even beat him in the remaining, I believe it's 3 rounds that we have. So, something interesting that he does in qualifying, I think he did this just now, but he goes on a lap, then he does a recharge lap, then he goes on another one, and still somehow he manages to be faster on the second lap. I mean, that's a wonder that even I can't really get down to the bottom of, but he's been doing great in the past couple of races, so if he can continue his pace, which he definitely is right now, this could be a very interesting title fight towards the end here. Then we got people like Logan, of course, or Cole Cummins. They're low in the standings, but they still have a lot of pace, and the reason they're so low in the standings is because I'm assuming it's incidents or failure to attend. I think Cole has had about 5 or 4 did not starts, but I mean, Cole's a legend in this league. I think we know him. I mean, he can get podiums if he really wants to, but if he doesn't feel like it, then he just won't. So here we are, Hungary. He looks quite quick so far, P6, and if he improves a couple tenths on his next lap, he could be looking to maybe even P3 right now. So I think that's Mac, who is currently P4 right now, going through the final corner. He's 3 tenths up in Sector 2, and if he can keep that, that will be good for at least P2. What can he do as he crosses the line? It's going to be a 1:15.559. Good for P2, as I said. And, Stelios, he's just in another realm right now. So great job from him, of course, but Mac is a really solid contender as John Ranger goes third fastest, just a little bit behind the Ferrari driver. And sooner or later, we will see what Tino has to say to that right now in the pits. But let's see who else we got on the lap. Go on,
One
board.
person that's kind of brand new. Combined has reserved quite a bit for this entire season, but with Spanini taking a step back for the rest of this season, Combined actually took his spot. So Combined is full-time driver for Williams for the last 4 rounds. So I'm not sure if we have that reflected in the standings yet, but we should have his original points that he scored before for his driver's standings. But one thing though is I'm a little disappointed is Dan is having some wheel issues. He'll be back for the next race. Just kind of some weather is kind of preventing him from being able to push a solution for his wheel issues. But Dan last week in Monaco, kind of came out of nowhere and kind of and just got pole over Stelios. So even though we were praising Stelios, Dan has definitely been somebody who has shown some really nice pace this season.
Yeah, and I remember in Monaco he was a little bit unfortunate with how the race played out. Cole Cummins not improving on his lap. I think he's going for another one right now, though. But Dan, definitely a great driver. I've raced wheel to wheel with him, and he's been faster on some occasions. He's slowing out, but yeah, great driver. And I think if he would still, if he didn't have the wheel issues and the weather issues that he has, I think Williams would be in a great spot right now. Like you said, combined YouTuber, he's back. And I was expecting to have him back in the commentary booth, but I guess not. But he's racing now, so, no offense to, I guess, myself, but I would take racing over commentating any day. So we got a Veer on a lap, and questionably, he's on the medium tires. So I don't know what the strategy is here at Red Bull, but I guess we'll just have to see how it plays out.
He's probably just. You'll see sometimes when people take the balance preset for the tires, they'll do their first lap on mediums. I think he's just kind of doing it backwards, where he's doing his second set on mediums instead of his first stint, so he doesn't burn all 3 of his softs. So I mean that's really the only assumption I can come up with because this is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I haven't seen if he's improved at all. We'll see in a little bit here, but if it works out, then it works out. 16.4 his first lap, and I think just with the um, track evolution, he'd be able to do a bit more, but he hasn't. He's 2.5 tenths down, so maybe just, get used to the track on the setup that he's given. Because he's only had 2 hours to practice, of course. So,
Hmm.
and he goes into the pits now, so any track time is good time to just learn the car, and maybe that's what he's doing. Got an Alfa Romeo here into the pits. Just trying to find someone who's on a lap here. I think we have Mateo right now, but it doesn't look to be a significant lap, so he's out of fuel actually. So we got two drivers on out laps here. We got Sleek, my very own. Let's go. So right now, as team principal, I think in Division 2 we got, I think it was 7th and 17th as our picks. And right now our guys at McLaren are doing, very well. I'm happy to see Sleek doing well. So on the hot lap right now, just trying to see what he can give us. He was gone last week, so if he can improve any more, we'll see. We'll see what kind of position he puts us in for the race. He's 1 and a bit tenths up right now, and just trust the process. As long as we have a driver that can score good points, I'm very happy. And for some reason, Sleek spins around in a medium speed corner, just I think getting a bit too much of the outside curb and spinning the car around. But still a chance to get one more lap in. But yeah, I mean, if you push the limits of the car, eventually if you step over them just a little bit, we'll go around. For some reason, I feel like I might be wrong about this, but I think last time I checked, you're team principal of Red Bull. So with your
No, it's
drivers,
Hudson.
it's Hudson? Okay.
That's
Well,
Hudson.
you're somehow involved with Red Bull, so I was going to ask you, I mean, what your expectations for these two drivers here are. I mean, I don't know if you're still tight with those guys, but at least when you were back with them, your position and Navira's position, do what's expected from them here?
So Vera has been like consistently between like 8 and 12 in terms of kind of where he's usually hanging around and qualifying. I mean, that's kind of I think a good expectation to be 8 for him. Ranger is definitely someone who can win these races, but Stelios has been so quick that it'll be a big challenge for him to close that gap. But I think he's definitely capable of doing that.
I mean, I think it's a bit late for him to do a title run, but he definitely has great pace. Like, I remember racing this guy and when we were together in Division 3, and he was a force to be reckoned with. So,
Oh,
he's even on his hot lap right now.
not even just that, just like the first race of the season we did with D2, he reserved for I think Haas, and then just beat everyone by like 3 seconds at Jeddah. So one thing though is Stelios was not there for that race. I think he missed maybe the first 2 or 3 races. So, but Ranger did just kind of show that he has a lot of pace.
I mean, he's a fun guy to be around, and he's got the pace. I don't know what more Red Bull could ask for in a driver. But he's down on his previous lap time, so he'll have to find a little bit of improvement in the second and third sectors. Let's see what he can do. For me, at least in this track, it's a very difficult track to find time at, because there's so many things that you can do right, but also so many you can do wrong. The session has ended, so these laps will be the last ones that we see. T-Nell is third, and that is all that he can do for now. So that leaves Mac and Celios and maybe even John Ranger to fight for pole. I don't really expect anyone else to be up there, but this would be fun if if we see anyone else. So John Ranger going out of the final corner. We'll see if he can challenge for pole. He has to improve about 3/10, even more. And what can he do? It's good for only P2. Stelios Repas and Mac goes P2 in front of him. So Stelios Repas, unless he gets surprised by a driver in right now at the bottom or from 8th and below, then he will be on pole position. He goes into the pits. He has the confidence, and I don't think anyone else will be able to contend with him. Cole Cummins has invalidated his lap. Itchry is the last one on lap, but I don't think he's going to improve enough to get anywhere close to pole position. We'll just go on board with him to confirm that. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a similar story to what we've seen so far this season. Stelios Repas may be our pole man here, unless Itchry can do anything about it, and I don't think he will be. So, ladies and gentlemen, Stelios Repas on pole position from Mac, then John Ranger, then TNL. Right now, Alpine in a very good starting position, but racing is racing, and anything can happen. We'll take us through the order in a little bit, but I mean, BMF, what's your opinion on that session? Pretty much as you expected, or any surprises that stood out to you?
I think Cole beating Shry is kind of a big surprise for me, because Shry was the champion of D3 last season, and him and Joel just kind of ran away from everyone else in this race last season. So I think that's nice to see Cole with some really solid pace, because he generally is just kind of someone who shows up and doesn't really prepare. So I'm glad to see that from Cole.
Yeah, so here is our order. We have Stelios Repas from Mac, then it's John Ranger, followed by Tino, then Mateo in the Mercedes, followed by combined YouTuber new driver for Williams, then it's NVA, Logan, Cole, Rigraph, Itchry, Avira, Joel Guron, Kiwi, Slick, Hokage Rodi, and Fitzdickwell. So, I believe we are supposed to have some weather in the start. We'll see if it's a bit cloudy here, and it is very, very wet indeed.
Oh yeah, that's full wet.
So hopefully we don't have any Botas bowling, as I call it, into turn 1. But if we do, then we do. So turn 1 could be even worse than Monza in dry weather. But let's just buckle our seatbelts. If you have one, if you have a cold one, crack it open. I just have a water bottle today, so not even juice box for me because times are tough. But crack one open, get your snacks, and let's get ready to race in Division 2 tonight. Okay, this cap is not coming off the water bottle. Go ahead.
We have Logan and Cole right next to each other. We've already seen a few wild incidents between the two of them this season. The last, particularly the Imola race, there was one quite comical little collision they had. Hopefully they can keep it clean into turn 1 here.
And let's see if they can do it now. We have 4 lights and the 5 lights, and the 5 lights are about to go out now. And here we go, it's down to turn 1. It looks like Mac gets a decent start, but not enough to get past Stelios Repas. Does John Ranger get a good run? No, he doesn't. They're all kind of squirming around for position. Looks like the Mercedes and Mateo is getting a decent run. He's going to try and make it around the outside of the Alpine, and there's lots of chaos going in the back. The other Mercedes, Joel Guron going straight into the wall. Lots of people going wide out of turn 1. It looks like NVA has lost a bunch of positions. People off the track everywhere. Right now, it looks like Joel Guron is the worst loser here so far, but the other Mercedes is making up positions. It looks like Mateo is getting dived by Itchry, but Itchry will have the outside line for turn 4, and he makes a position on Mateo. So we keep on going down to turn 4. They're making a bit of contact. I think combined YouTuber and NVA, there might have been a bit of contact there. No damage for either two drivers, but we do have another yellow, and it's Rigrap, and Vera is off. Actually, that's Sleek, who's gone off in the McLaren, and there's more position changes with Mateo here. Let's go up here, and he's conceded position to John Ranger, who's actually lost positions, and Sleek has retired from the session on track, so unfortunate for the McLaren driver. On the first lap, there's been another incident. Hokage Roldi is off the track, and there's even more incidents. Fitzdickwell is off the track, and there's plenty of cars going off here. What a first lap this has been, Big Mama Frank. As, whoa. I don't know if you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing, but, everyone has left.
Oh, yes. Yeah, kick you out of the session. I'll try to invite you as quickly as I can.
Yeah. Alright, well, banger of a first lap, and unfortunately I couldn't see all of it. I mean, it's lasted 1 lap for me at least, and it looks like Stelios has already slipped and fallen on the podium, and he's getting his trophy now, but I will try to get back into the session as soon as I can. We'll go into intermission real quick here.
just close that stream.
Alright, ladies and gents, we are working on it. We are doing our best. It'll be a little bit dodgy, but I will get to you as soon as possible. If I... Give me a second. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it will be a black screen for a minute, but I will cook and we will get it back to you. Alright. So I don't really know if this is going to be the best way to do it, but we are here. We are back with our game. I'm not allowed back into the game, so we are doing some very high-tech maneuvers here, but we are on board with Mac. So, I don't know how the order has changed too much. We have a caution in Sector 2. That's an Alfa Romeo of Logan PSQ who has reset the track. But right now the order is T-Nell, Itchry, Mac, combined YouTuber. I'm not really sure what happened to Stelios Repos. Do you know what happened?
So, yeah, so in the middle of that, we had a virtual safety car, and during the virtual safety car, Stelios, Ranger, Avira, and one other person had drive-through penalties at the end of it.
And I'm sure you can see what measures we're going to record this stream. But here we go. Stelios already making up positions on the Hokage Roldi and continuing on. But right now his Alpine teammate, who's led a race before, he is leading now. So he's followed by Itchry, then Mac, and then combined YouTuber, who is new to Williams, doing very well on his first race. At least we have a few people on intermediate tires here. Rigraph, NVA, and Joel Guran. I don't know if it's been time to switch yet. I don't know if they're really gaining time to anyone ahead of them, but if Major Castleman thinks that it's the right strategy, and most normally is, he's the engineer at McLaren, so we'll just see how that turns out for them. Right now it just doesn't look like the intermediates are doing it, but I'm assuming they took the virtual safety car to pit onto the tires so they don't lose too much time. But we have Kiwi who's around. I don't know if he's into the wall, you know, somewhere in there, and there is another virtual safety car. So this might not benefit the intermediate runners as much as we thought. Actually, hold on. Rigraph has not pit, but NVA and Jolgran have. Positions being changed, and Kiwi has been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location. Very interesting, but still virtual safety car nonetheless. So we'll see if any of these drivers take the opportunity to go on to the intermediate tires. It would benefit drivers like T-Nell right now if he could just get onto the inters. Even if he'll lose a bit of time on track, then he would at least be able to not lose as much as it would for a full pit stop. And okay, that was a bit weird. And Logan has a drive-through penalty, so drive-through penalties being a bit common now. But here we go, T-Nell from the lead of the race into the pits now. Itchry stays out, so he inherits the lead of the race, but multiple other drivers are going into the pits now. Stelios Repos is into the pits again, so I think he will go for the intermediate tires now. He thinks this is the right time to switch. So do a lot of other people. So here in the wet, a lot of element of strategy. I mean, right now for me it's a bit 50-50, but for you, Big Mama Frank, what do you think here?
It's hard to tell because you can still see standing water on the track, so the only thing they would really be, if they have telemetry, they might be able to see kind of the tire delta between the inters and the wets. So if they don't have an engineer, they would just be listening to their engineer Mark, or the in-game engineer Mark. And actually, here I'm going to tab out one. Here we go. Nope. Let's see if I can see my. So we're looking at weather here from, at least according to temp telemetry, we're looking at least 15 more minutes of rain. And it's going to be pretty flat until that, and then just fall off after 15 minutes.
Right, we'll see what the strategy stays. So you said full wet, but we still have people on intermediate tires, so we'll
Yeah,
see.
so we're looking. Oh, I can actually see tire deltas. So if we're looking just at Shry, team telemetry is showing that intermediate tires are 3 seconds a lot faster than his current tire. So it makes sense that he would go in.
It definitely looks like that would be true now as we see everyone else going on to the intermediate tires now. Cole Cummins does stay out though, so he will be one of the last drivers in the top 5 to be going still on the wet tires. And John Ranger is into the pits. So now, I'm sure you can imagine the smile on my face when I say that Rigraff will be around P2. If he can get past these cars, will be a bit tough on pit exit. We'll see if he can fight Mac for position here, the new intermediates versus the old ones. He's going right behind him, but whether he can get this position or not, I do not know, and it looks like he will not be able to. So right now, it's going to be a net P4 for Rigraff. NVA sets the fastest lap with 1:33.095. So 3 seconds a lap quicker sounds just about right to me.
Yeah, the issue he's going to have for Rigraff is the intermediates usually wear really quickly. And on top of that, the performance drop-off is really, really strong. So he's all the way up to 12% on his tire wear. So he's going to struggle to, I think, keep up with the people with the new inters.
I think from where he started, though, he'll have done enough. So since he started on inters, he doesn't have to make another pit stop, which is why he's in 5th right now. And the most beneficial thing for him, if you say that the rain will stop in about 10-15 minutes, then he will not have had to make another stop, and he will probably keep this position from, I think he started 10th. So it's a strategy. It seems a bit weird, but I think in the end it will all work out for him, because he's got a pretty good gap to the car behind him, as Cole Cummins, the last driver to pit onto the intermediate tires. John Ranger throwing it down the inside of NVA. I think 2 of our admins going wheel to wheel here, and you're here to commentate it. So around the outside does try John Ranger. He'll have the inside line for the final corner. And will NVA try and stick it around the outside? Yes, he will. But John Ranger has kept it very tidy, and he has made up the position on his fellow admin. But now, does NVA get the run on John Ranger into turn 1? I don't think he will. And he definitely keeps that position, does John Ranger. And a good move from the Red Bull driver. He's got 5 lap newer tires than NVA, so it was bound to happen eventually. But John Ranger, after a drive-through penalty, he's only looking to go up from here.
Yeah, a lot of time to make up, but because we're still going to have a big weather change before the end of this race, it's possible we'll just see some crazy position swap.
I think the only thing stopping that from happening, though, is just the nature of this track being a bit difficult to overtake, but I think the rain is going to help that. So hopefully, as Mac is 3.7 seconds quicker than his last lap, which is nuts. So I think Mac right now, based off of what I've seen in the past, I think he could be in a very good position to maybe even win this race, unless T-Nell can, keep it very nice and composed. T-Nell 129.5, but what does Mac set? It will be... Okay, didn't tell me, but Itchrai is going faster than T-Nell right now, so yeah, there you go. What was it?
Shry did a 28.8, T-Nell with a 29.5.
So that's pretty good pace from Shry, I must say. But I guess maybe Shry is more of a contender than Mac is. That was going all on about Mac, but then Shry just stole the show. But still rooting for my boy Rigraff, and he's doing just fine. But right now, I think I'm focused on most on Celios Repus right now. We know he has probably the most pace out of this grid right now. I mean, he's even fast in the wet. So chasing down Combined YouTuber right now, I think that might not be the warmest of welcomes for Combined YouTubers, seeing one of the fastest drivers chase you down in the wet. So We'll see. The field is pretty close together, or at least closer than I thought it would be, as Mac has a bit of a moment. I thought he would completely go off, but it looked like he saved it. And both Itchrai and Mac are slowly gaining on Tino. So here we go.
There's a lot of people with newer tires chasing people with older tires, so we might have a lot of people trying to overtake each other at the same time.
Yeah, and sometimes with all these purple sectors, I don't know what to believe anymore. But Mateo's going quickly.
That is a real purple sector.
Awesome sauce. Mac is going as quick as I expected him to, but with Mateo's lap that he's doing right now, I wonder if he will go quicker. Cole Cummins has the newest tires out of this entire grid, but he's the only one with the time penalty as well, so a bit of an interesting situation for him. But Mac with the fastest lap. And the gap from Itchrai to Tino, under 3 seconds. Now we go on board with John Ranger. He might be sizing up a move on the other Aston Martin. Got past the other one a bit earlier, but this would be a huge move around the outside and now back behind the Aston Martin. Does he go on the battery to try and get it here? He does, but I think he had a moment out of turn 1, so I don't think he'll have the position here. He is quite brave on the brakes, just trying to get that better line. And I think we might see a move into turn 4, which would be absolutely phenomenal from the Red Bull driver. Here we go. He's going to try to run the outside in turn 4 in the wet. Does he get the position? Yes, he does. Great move from John Ranger. Lots of bravery from him. And Hokage Roldi has no other option than to concede the position. Mateo chasing after Cole Cummins. He's a bit faster than Cole is on older tires. So I think we could see an overtake soon enough here. Using a little bit of the battery out of these fast corners. He's still going faster every lap, but not quite fast enough to get past Cole so far. We'll see though the field bunching up just a little bit more. Max having another fastest lap of a 1:28.6. Cole Cummins has the better advantage over Mateo here by about 15%, but can Mateo get a better exit? I think he can, because Cole Cummins has a bit of a moment. But will Mateo be fast enough in a straight line? He's got the fastest lap now, but I don't think he's fast enough to get Cole Cummins into turn 1 here. So maybe he'll size up a move into turn 2 if he gets close enough. And look how close they get wheel to wheel now. And what a great exit from Mateo to take the position off of Cole Cummins. I mean, Big Mama Frank, what a move that was from the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, Cole went really deep in the exit of turn 1. But credit to Cole for kind of recognizing he went so deep and not just turning back into Mateo when he was opportunistic there.
Yes, great work, and luckily I think a lot of drivers are closing up to each other. We have Mac 4/10 behind Itchrai now, who's kind of dropped off the back of Tino just a little bit. So Mac being one of the fastest men on track right now, I think we'll see a move coming very soon here. He's just a little bit faster than his last lap, but now he's got a Haas to deal with in front of him. So we saw Mercedes overtaking a Haas this lap. Will we see a Ferrari taking a Haas next lap? Both Ferrari-powered cars, but Mac with 100% battery. I think that's going to be huge to the move that he's about to make here. We'll see if he can get the exit he needs, and it looks like he will. He maybe will not, actually, so we'll see if he can do it. He's getting closer and closer every single second to the Haas driver, but not close enough into turn 1 unless he were to send it. Joel Goran gets a time penalty. Now we go on board with Stelios Repas. He's got the battery advantage on Combined YouTuber. He's going to try it down the inside, and it looks like he's going to be faster in a straight line. So does he make the move? Yes, he does. Does Combined YouTuber fight it back? No, we have a Red Bull maybe in the wall. We have a safety car. John Ranger has put it in the wall, and we have a safety car here at the Hungaroring. You can see the front wing is completely up against the wall, so John Ranger. Interesting situation. Could you check how much we have on rain? Because I'm thinking about a little bit of a dumb strategy, but you never know here.
So telemetry shows that at least 5 more minutes of these conditions, and then the conditions are going to start dropping off really quickly towards dry. It doesn't show that we may not actually get full dry until completely full dry for 20 more minutes. But after 5 minutes, this line just takes a nosedive towards the kind of the dry part of the graph.
Yeah. So I would say, at least for me, I would see no reason not to pit for Tino, Shrai, and Mac. I mean, they're so far ahead of everyone else where I think it would really just wouldn't matter. Maybe even Rigraff, who has the oldest tires out of this whole bunch, he could pit as well.
Honestly, like, because it may take a while for the dries to actually be quicker than inters. At this point, even if we're looking at like Ranger, who's on only 5-lap-old tires, fresh inters are already a second quicker.
Yeah, and they'd be a lot quicker than John Ranger would be without a front wing, so I don't think we have anyone into the pits, though. Yeah, I'm not seeing anyone. And Logan, another drive-through penalty. Interesting, Mateo and Cole Cummins into the pits. Not sure what kind of penalty it was for Cole Cummins, but if it was a 5-second, then he would be able to serve that now. And no, it's a 3-second, so not be able to do. We'll definitely see John Ranger into the pits here. And I have to say, even though he did spin and lose his wing completely, he didn't actually lose a position on track from it at all, did John Ranger. And Logan has another drive-through penalty, so I do not know what to tell you. Maybe we have to start putting speed limit signs, and Cole Cummins is on to the soft tires. So that was a strategy I was thinking about. John Ranger's onto the hard tires. I mean, what's your opinion on that? All I can say right now is that it might not be the right strategy, but it is what it is.
It may be the right strategy. Like I said, we're just hitting that point where where this little rain graph in team telemetry is just going straight down. So with the safety car, we'll have probably with the gap we have between all these cars, we'll complete this lap and then at least do one more full lap. So maybe not in until at the earliest the end of lap 15, but I would suspect with the gaps we have, maybe at the end of 16.
Yeah, and as McLaren team principal, I can only imagine that Major is either fuming or really considering the strategy to go onto the dry tires now. But I mean, I think it's kind of smart to go on dries if the rain will go away as they wanted to. We'll see if anyone goes into the pits here. Looks like everyone is going to stay out. But if Cole Cummins is as fast as he wants to, as he wants to be with this strategy, then that would be absolutely huge for him. But yeah, like you said.
So look,
go ahead.
Using Rigraff here as our control. He has 14 lap-old intermediate. Team telemetry shows fresh intermediates is almost 2 seconds a lap quicker, but it shows fresh softs as 7.8 seconds a lap slower. So we are clearly not in the dry part of the race. So I would honestly assume Ranger will go back in.
Yeah, I mean, yep, and there he goes. But I think Cole Cummins, I mean, he's too far up to really make that decision. Actually, no, that's a complete lie. I think anyone that's on the slick tires should not be, and NVA pits onto the medium tires now. So, good looks, guys. But we'll see. I mean, if somehow that delta that you said, 7.8 seconds, somehow becomes faster in the space of what, a lap, 2 laps, then it will be huge for Cole Cummins and NVA. But I think worst case scenario, which is the most likely scenario, is we see Cole Cummins doing a little bit of bowling on the safety car restart.
That's possible. He still may go in because we will probably have a whole nother lap. Like I said, probably end of 16 with the amount of gap we have here. But we still may be just under 10 minutes from the crossover. I believe about 9 minutes or so. It says stop raining in 5 minutes. And then from then it's just going to go down. And then about 10 minutes it shows 20% rain, whatever that means. Another 5 minutes it goes down to 10, and another 10 minutes, and then 20 minutes from now, is about 0. So it'll be actually dry.
Alright, well, I'd say it's a big gamble right now for all the slick tires, but, you know. Oh, as we have someone pitting, that's Logan. And that might be onto the slick tires. We'll have to see. I think he does have multiple drive-through penalties, so Fitz also into the pits now. What are these guys thinking about? Yeah, Logan with a drive-through. He won't be able to serve it now, but he didn't do it for that. He did it to put on the medium tires, and so did Fitz Dickwell. So, I mean, now with more people
So,
pitting onto the slick tires, go ahead.
so we're looking at Fitz as a reference here. It shows intermediate says 4.6 seconds or 4.8 seconds a lap quicker. It's actually going down pretty quick. So it went from 4.6, we're already 4.3. So it's actually, the rain has,
I think
looks
it
like it stopped. Yeah.
And so if
So-
somehow this safety car stays up for another lap with the gap of these cars, I don't know if there's a limit to the laps, but I think, I mean, this right here is what tells you John Ranger going back onto the mediums. I think that if it stays up for one more lap, that delta could maybe go down to 1 second or just enough where it'd be beneficial to be on slick tires right now. But this could be absolutely huge for anyone on the slick tires because they could be faster so much quickly, and they'll have so much quicker safety car in this lap. So these medium tires have a lot a lot of places to go right now. John Ranger, this is going to be difficult for him to make up these positions, especially if it's slower to be on the medium tires right now. But let's go back to the front for the safety car restart. Most of our drivers on the intermediate tires. T-Nell is here to take us away, and we'll see what he can do. He's holding off for as long as he can, and just enjoying it. Someone's into the pits, Max into the pits, or tries into the pits, but T-Nell leads us away from the safety car restart, and he has a huge gap and is back to his teammate now. Lots of people coming into the pits on the safety car restart, so this could be huge for everyone who's pitting. Looks like Combined YouTuber almost got a move on Celius Repas, but it's an Alpine 1-2 as it stands right now. Now with a lot of people pitting onto the slick tires now, is this the right strategy call to make? We will have to see. Pretty similar to what we saw 3 years ago, maybe, in 2021. Lots of intermediate tires being caught out by people putting onto the mediums right after the restart. So this could be very exciting, folks. Right now it's all about what the delta is for these slick tires compared to the intermediate tires. Most of the grid now on slick tires. So can we get some information on what the delta is here?
So going back to Rigraph, it'll take a second for the summary. So it's still showing intermediates about half a second quicker. This is fresh intermediates, so old intermediates are not going to be the same. But it is dropping down, so we're down to 410. So about at the end of this lap, these tires will be even with, or be quicker than intermediate tires.
We'll have to say everyone in this little bit of train from Cole Cummins down, I think they nailed it with the strategy. We see T-Nell into the pits, Stelios Repas into the pits. That's going to be a double stack. There's, I think it's Shry into the wall. I don't know if that'll be a safety car. I think he's missing an end plate there. Cole Cummins takes the lead of the race. And then we have NVA from, I believe that's going to be Fitz Dickwell, who is our 1-2-3 right now. The two Alpines and Combined YouTuber are going to come out of the pits next, as Combined actually is going to have to pit, and then we'll see what the order will be after these cars go past the pit lane. It's going to be very, very tight. Celius Repas is going to find himself behind more traffic now. Rigraph is going to try around his outside straight out of the pits, and we'll go on board with him hopefully into turn 2. Will Rigraph try and send it down the inside? No, he doesn't, and I honestly would have. And if we have an Alpha Tauri, that's Fitz, actually. That's Fitz Dickwell, who's spun around out of turn 4. And I don't know where his car is, but it looks like it's on the outside of the track. No safety car so far, but no... can we get an outside shot of that? I don't think there's a front wing on that car. And no, there is not.
No front wing.
So the safety car gods being a bit nice today, but Cole Cummins, who's on the soft tires, has absolutely nailed the strategy in a place where I would have doubted him. But nope, he's got it. He knew what the strategy was, and he is leading our contenders, which would be T-Nell, Mac, Mateo, John, Combined Celius, all those guys. He's leading them by 15 seconds. So whether the softs can make it to the end, that is the real question. NVA, T-Nell maybe are in the best position to win this right now. I'd actually say NVA is in the best position to win this right now. 12 seconds ahead of his main contender, and as long as he can make it to the end with decent pace, he's won this race. What a rhyme that was.
Almost 12 and a half seconds. That's a big gap, but Ranger was almost 2 seconds, or was more than 2 seconds a lap quicker than NVA that last lap.
Yeah, but right now he's being held up by Mac, and I wonder if he's going to try and overtake Mac, and NVA gets a time penalty, so not what you want, and NVA is already making up time on Cole Cummins. So sooner or later we might see a move as the Ferrari of Mac is looking a bit twitchy out of the high-speed corners, and I think we'll have a very, very great battle for the win here today, because you know we got Cole, NVA, who are maybe going to fall off towards the end of the race, but then we got everyone else who's going to fight for it, so this is looking to be a very, very good race to come here.
Yeah, we already see that gap between TNL and NVA drop almost 1.4 seconds already. So 11 seconds isn't going to be, at this pace, isn't going to be that hard to catch. Or not necessarily hard, but definitely doable.
And as I said before, I think Cole Cummins' tires will not be able to make it to the end of the race. They'll be 20 lap old soft tires at least. So it's going to be a crazy risky strategy. We'll see what we can do in the back of this pack here. I think John Ranger is maybe going to be able to make an overtake here on Mac. He's got medium tires versus the hard tires, and he's going to throw it down the inside of turn 1. Mac is still going to try hold it around the outside, but a little bit of a twitch for John Ranger. That is going to help Mac still power past the Red Bull and stay past the Red Bull 1 lap longer. So I think John Ranger could have had that move had he not had that twitch, and now Avira and Rigref go wheel to wheel. Rigref is going to try keep it down the inside, but now he's on the outside line, and I think he'll have to concede to the Red Bull, but he might get a switch back here with a traction, but no, not fast enough in a straight line to fight back with the Red Bull, so he will now be in P11 on the hard tires. It's only him and Mac on the hard tires right now, and I say that they're the only two that I really see struggling right now. So still is Repbus, who may one day be our championship leader. This is a time where he has to make up as many positions as possible. And while you talk, Babe Mom and Frank, I will look into the maths for Sailors to be championship leader here.
Yeah, Simon missing tonight is definitely going to hurt him quite a bit.
So I think the only way Celis would take the lead tonight is if he won, but he would be 1 point behind if he got second. So we have a lot of excitement in that championship fight, but time will only tell what the result will be.
So Cole and NVA, oh, there goes Joel. Safety, VSC.
VSC. Is Joel out? Yeah, he's out. He's completely out.
He's out.
I didn't catch what happened there, but I'm assuming he just had a little bit of a twitch on the exit of, yeah, that corner, and straight into a wall.
Now, depending on how long this goes, I mean, if I'm NVA and Cole, I'd go into the pits. If like the safety car, if the VSC is still out when they get to the pit lane, they have to go.
Just about to say the same thing, but go ahead.
Looking at the laps, so TNL and Mateo or TNL did it 19.9, Mateo did a 19.3, NVA did a 21.7. So he definitely, if he wants to maintain this lead, or at least maintain a position where he can fight for this position, he probably would want fresher tires.
Yeah, I mean, for Cole, I see no other option than to go into the pits, and I think he has stayed out, actually. Is NVA?
NVA too.
No. Wow, okay, I mean, the green
so
flag.
The VSC ended as they were, yeah, going to the final sector, so it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, and they've actually lost time under the safety car as well, so not really going out well for our top two, who both have penalties. They're the only two with penalties, actually. And yet the battles continue as they do. So John Ranger is still a bit far from the Ferrari. I think if John gets a good exit here, he'll be able to make an overtake, but he doesn't. So right now, we look to Stelios Repbus, and I think his main struggle right now with overtaking is just that the other cars in front of him have DRS, and he's not getting enough exit. He has 94% battery, so I'm not really sure why he's not using that. You know, I used to be a driver who didn't use his battery that much, but it didn't help me. So I would start using that battery, is what I'm trying to say here.
Well, the thing is, like you mentioned, he has to clear this pack. Mac is definitely kind of off the pace. So he's lapping in the 20s. The cars in front of him are lapping in the 19. So once Ranger clears him, maybe Celios can start thinking about trying to be more aggressive. But right now, he's just stuck behind at least two cars that are just quite a bit slower than him, and then a car that has the same pace that's in front of him. So
They're fighting, Combined and Celios Repas. I think I just saw the Williams go off the track, maybe because of a dive. But yeah, he can practically smell the Williams gearbox here. So here he is. He's got the DRS now, and the car ahead of him doesn't, so he's going to make this overtake for P7. Celios Repas is up as John Ranger goes down the inside of Mac, blocks up a lot. So do they go wheel to wheel into turn 2? Yes, they do. Mac is ahead right now, but does John Ranger brake late enough to go around the outside into turn 3? They make contact, but John Ranger is still trying around the outside, but he does have to concede the position to the Ferrari in the end. Interesting line, but it's just a lag in the end. So John Ranger staying behind. Celios Repas has made up one position, but crucially, Celios is not in the DRS of John Ranger. So John Ranger is safe for now, but he really needs to clear this Ferrari, who's very off the pace.
TNL 2 seconds a lap faster than MVA last lap. The gap is already down to 5.5.
Yeah, and I think something we also need to note is that Mateo is also showing some pace. So the real battle tonight here, if the battling stays the same with Mac, John Ranger, Celios, and Combined, I think our battle for the lead could be between TNL and Mateo. Two contenders who I don't think we've seen either of them win at all this season. Yeah, like you said, that gap is going down quick. It's John Ranger. Here we go. He might be able to make this move here. Battery and DRS for him once again. He's going to try around the outside this time. Very late move, but now he's cleared the Ferrari. Does Mac fight back? We do not know. He doesn't have the DRS though, so Mac is going to just try to use his pure exit speed to fight with John Ranger, but he will not make it into turn 3. So this is huge for Celios Repas, who's now got a car with less space ahead of him. This could be the time to make moves on the Ferrari and then try and follow John Ranger through to the cars ahead. I mean, even on board you can just see how close he gets on the exit of these corners, and Mac has another twitch. Does he try to throw it down the inside of the chicane? No, he doesn't. That would have been crazy if he did. Been more frank. And there you go.
Yeah, the biggest thing is Ranger has to just put the pedal to the metal now and try to put a gap between him and Mac. Because Celios has 2 lap fresher tires than Ranger, so that's going to be a big advantage for him.
We might have a move here, and no we don't, but I know Celios Repas is capable of doing a move there as Cole Cummins comes into the pits from the lead of the race. Celios Repas is really attacking the Ferrari here. I think he's trying to put him offline as the Ferrari goes off and actually into the pits, so this frees up Celios Repas to chase after John Ranger now. So this could be a huge fight for what is, I think, going to be P4 now. And now it's up to Tino and Mateo to decide whether they want to work together to keep 1 and 2, or if they want to fight for the lead of the race. But this is boiling up to be a very exciting race here.
Yeah, so looking at the last lap, Tino did a 19.3. He was still quicker than Ranger. Mateo did a 19.4. Ranger just a little bit slower, 19.48.
Look how close Celios is going, though.
Yeah, he's purple sector 1 already.
And I saw the gap go under 10. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying these 2 lap fresher tires are going to make a big deal, or a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the start of the main straight he was 9/10 behind, and now look where he is. He's in the same position he was with Combined YouTuber earlier. And I think even earlier he tried to do a move into turn 4, but we didn't catch it on camera. So does he go for it now? I mean, he's right behind the Red Bull. I think he's going to do the same thing as he did last lap and just try and throw the Red Bull off of his line. No, he doesn't, but Combined YouTuber is still in this battle as well. So we look towards the Alpine. What can he do out of this final corner and onto the final straight, the main straight, I should say. Will he overtake the Red Bull? He's got the power, the pedal to the metal, and the DRS. So will we see an overtake from the Alpine? I think we will. Down the inside goes Celios Repas, and John Ranger does not have an answer right away. But does he have a better exit speed, John Ranger? He's right behind the Alpine once again, but can he fight? I don't think he can here, not in this position. So now Combined YouTuber is the one with his sights on the Red Bull. So I don't think at this rate... NVA is going to pit again, so T-Nell is going to have to fight for him for the lead of the race. 1.7 seconds the gap now, so T-Nell may be looking at his first race win this season.
So while that was happening, Cole on the fresher softs did overtake Avira. And he's actually catching up with his Stelios Repus-led train. So he might actually catch them before we get to the end of the race.
That'd be huge for Cole Cummins. I mean, I don't think he finished or started, well, he didn't finish 2 races, but he hasn't started any of the other races. So that would be a huge return for the Haas driver. And just look at the pace that Stelios Repus has. John Ranger's lucky to have the DRS still going forward here, but Combined YouTuber might be able to do something with the Red Bull. Soon, Cole Cummins with the fastest lap, as you said. I think he gained a second since you told me that he was gaining on the train, so I agree. I think he could be a very big contender here on these fresh softs. This Rigraff makes it past Hokage here for P9. I think his hard tires are finally going to start coming in clutch here. The gap to NVA from T-Nell is under a second now, so we will see an overtake soon probably. And Mateo has actually closed some ground as well. 1.7 seconds the gap from him to Mateo. So this could be, yeah, I think I said that right. This could be a very fun battle now that T-Nell is in a bit of dirty air. Mateo is closing up pretty quickly. So the fight for the lead could be amazing here. Stelios Repus, he could be in it, but right now 4.8 seconds is a big gap to close. So we'll see if T-Nell can get this move done on this next main straight. That will be the best move that he could possibly do here. And he just barely has the exit speed he needs onto the battery, onto the DRS. Can T-Nell get it done right here, right now? He's going to try it around the outside here into turn 1. The Aston Martin stays ahead, but I think he's going for the switchback, and he is. So T-Nell onto the battery, onto the DRS now. He's around the outside now for turn 2, but it looks like NVA will have to lose that position in the end, and T-Nell goes up to the lead of the race.
So Ranger's pace has dropped off quite a bit. 20.6, Stelios 19.6.
And that's evident now that Combined is closing up to him. Right now, the most crucial thing that I'm looking at right now is Mateo getting in the DRS of NVA, which he just has now. Because Mateo needs to overtake this Aston Martin on the next lap and then just try and fight T-Nell. And that's the only chance he has at winning this race, and I think he knows it.
Yeah, big pace difference right now between Mateo and NVA. NVA did a 21 flat, and Mateo did a 19.7.
Yeah, so I don't know if he'll have the gap that he wants to really make this next move here. But he's on the battery, he is on the DRS, but off the battery now, so I don't know if he'll be able to make this move into turn 1, but maybe he's preparing to make it into turn 2. We will have to wait and see. 3 lap fresher tires, then the car ahead of him. Huge moment out of turn 1, so I think that's going to be pretty crucial. And Cole Cummins, he's actually gotten past Combined YouTuber, and now he's got John Ranger right in front of him. So we knew that he was going to catch eventually, but I didn't expect him to catch that quickly. I think we only talked about him about a lap ago now. Let's go on board with Mateo. He's around a 10th behind the car ahead now, but I don't really see anywhere we can make a move here. Big traction from him, but now Cole Cummins on the soft tires. He's getting closer, and now Mateo makes a move on NVA for P2. Let's try and see that now. And he did not get that move successfully in the end. And somehow out of all of that, NVA's gotten closer to T-Nell. But what a battle this could be. Now Cole Cummins is still right behind John Ranger. He'll have a huge... NVA gets a corner cutting penalty for gaining a position. And now Cole Cummins still on the soft tire, not able to bring the fight to John Ranger. But we are all over the place here in Division 2. Today we have battles going on all over the place. Cole Cummins now is going to try run down the inside of the penultimate corner, now run the outside, but he's brake checked Combined YouTuber in the process of maybe trying to get a better exit than John Ranger. He's right behind John Ranger now, so He'll go to the inside, but will combined YouTuber be able to follow through with this move as well? Down the inside goes Cole Clemens on John Ranger. John Ranger still fighting around the outside. They're both off the track now. John Ranger and the Red Bull is now facing the combined YouTuber, the Williams here, and combined YouTuber doesn't make the move, but what a three-way battle that was. Cole Cummins on the top of it right now with his soft tires, but John Ranger off the track. Combined YouTuber thought he might have a chance to make an overtake here, but he hasn't been able to. Now Mateo is back and close up behind NVA, but I don't know what happened there. NVA got a 5-second time penalty for cutting the track and gaining one position. So very strange that he hasn't given it back. I think the game would make you do that. Oh wait, no, that's why he has the penalties, because he didn't give the position back.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. Something happened that gave him illegal overtake.
I think the only reason why you wouldn't give up the position is if you think that was unfair. So I think we might see a ticket from NVA appealing that later, but right now he has to focus on what he's dealing with. So with 5 laps to go now, Mateo has to make this move as soon as possible and just use as little time to make up time to Tino here, and he's going to try to run the outside of the Aston Martin. Does he have the traction to keep it? No, we see the tire marbles on his right tire, and he will not be able to make this move into turn 2 unless he has some serious widths here, but he doesn't, and he stays behind the Aston Martin a little bit longer. And as this race continues, I think we see the advantage going towards Tino. Mateo's still getting very close, but not close enough to make an overtake here, so Mateo might be fuming right now under that helmet of his as Tino gets further and further away. And now Stelios Repas is getting closer to this little pack here, so somehow still we might see an Alpine double podium.
Well, NBA does have that 3-second penalty. Maybe even 6 seconds, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 6 seconds. So this Repas is already technically riding in that podium position.
Yeah, now it's whether to make it a 1-2 or not. And same lap bolt tires as Mateo. I don't know how much battery advantage he has. I think it could be about 30% advantage to Mateo, or to Stelios against Mateo, sorry. But here we go, he's on it now, so we'll see if Mateo makes a move on NVA now. Looks like he will. He's going for the inside line. They're very close up to the side of the track, and Mateo still sticking it in at the end, and NVA is now challenged by Stelios Repas around the outside. Stelios Repas might be going for P2 here around the outside of Mateo. It looks like he might not have this move on here, but he's still on the inside, and he's gotten the move done in turn 4. Still side by side, Mateo and Stelios Repas. Mateo will have the inside line for turn 4, but he has lost the position to Stelios Repas, and now it is an Alpine 1-2 here in the Hungary ring. What a move that was from Stelios Repas from P4 up to P2 now. This will be huge for his team's success, but now will Mateo fight back? We do not know. NVA has dropped back just a little bit, but he has 11 seconds of time penalties. So now the battle for P2 is now between Mateo and Stelios Repas. I think Stelios used a lot of his battery to gain the position that he did, but now will Mateo be able to fight back? Maybe a lot of frustration for the Mercedes driver, but enough frustration to get the position into turn 1? We do not know. We'll have to see. And it's a very slim possibility, but I can't take my mind off it. Will Stelios Repas be able to catch his teammate and maybe even win this race? That'd be huge for him in the championship battle. He would lead this. He would lead the championship if he did. But with 3 laps remaining, the Alpine driver has serious work to do. Tino could be on for his first win. Stelios on for his third. Mateo maybe even in for a P2, but we will have to wait and see. But now NVA's kind of dropped back from his podium position that he thought would be his. Cole Cummins could be on for a P4. I think he is on for P4 right now. Penalties considered. But other than that, other than our top 3, this battle has really gotten down a little bit. But I have to say, I think Stelios gained about 0.6 to his teammate in this last lap. So seriously pushing. We can see him on the battery. Mateo doing a good job to stick with him. But Stelios has not lost the possibility of a win here tonight yet. Matteo is going to be the only, I think the quote is like thorn to his side. I don't know, something like that. But anyways, I did my best, but Matteo's doing his best to stick with him, so he's only gaining on his teammate. This could be a huge showdown for the win of the race tonight here.
Yeah, Stelios almost 6/10 into that gap to Tina that lap. Another 5/10 a lap before.
I mean, 1.8 seconds to gap right now. I don't know if the rate that he's getting closer to his team, I don't know if that'll be enough to win this race here. But you never know. Stelios right now, in these next two sectors, he has to get in the DRS zone of his teammate if he wants to even think about winning right now. But at this rate, I don't think he'll be able to do it. But I'd be happy to be proven wrong. Through those mid-speed corners he was miles quicker, but like I said, he's not in the DRS gap, which I think is going to be crucial to that battle. There is one lap remaining as they cross the line here. No DRS on this lap for Stelios, so Stelios will have to do it with pure pace if he wants to win this race over his teammate. He's using all the battery that he saved up for the end of the race, so the question is, what can he do in terms of pure pace? They're on the same tires, maybe even the same battery, we do not know. Mac, this is the last chance he has to get this position on Combined YouTuber. 7-lap old, fresher tires, but he's not going to be able to do it into turn 1, so will he be able to do it into turn 2? He goes deep into turn 1, and as a result he has a moment, and I don't think he'll be able to make this position into turn 2, and he will have to stay behind for P8 right now. We go back to the battle for the lead of the race, and Stelios Red Bus right now not close enough, and as they go through a very, very difficult section to overtake, I don't know what to say for the man who's been winning races left and right in the past few sections. Now the gap goes under 1 second for Stelios Red Bus on his teammate. We should go on board with that if we can, but there's only a few more corners to decide the win of the race, and it looks like right now it's going to go to T-Nell's favor. And unless something monumental happens in these next two corners, we will have a new race winner in Zoom Racing League. We have an Alfa Romeo, I believe, who is around, or no, that's the Ferrari of Mac, I think. But now, as we cross the line, we have a new race winner for Zoom Racing League. We have T-Nell, who crosses the line to win the Hungarian Grand Prix ahead of his teammate to make it an Alpine 1-2. Matteo goes P3 in the end, and Cole Cummins takes P4 on his soft tires. Then NVA dropping down to P6 after his time penalties. John Ranger actually got P4 in the end. Combined YouTuber up into P5, but Cole Cummins P6. P7 goes to NVA, Avira in P8, and Mac, I don't know if he would have gained anything off of not spinning. I mean, of course he would have, but P9 for him. And then Rigraff crossed the line for P10, followed shortly by Okagarodi. Then Itchrai and Fitzik will cross the line in only a matter of time. But what a race towards the end that was. I mean, I thought it would have been Matteo and T-Nell fighting for the win, but really in the end, I think it was more Stelios and T-Nell. So, still, great pace shown from Stelios, and I think that is Alpine's first 1-2 of the session, of the season. So great job from Alpine. T-Nell winning the Hungarian Grand Prix, taking the 35 points home. And I'm not going to do the math right now, but I think it'd be safe to say that they have won the Constructors' Championship with 2 rounds to go. But we'll just have to wait and see. And as the time for interviews rolls around, I can only imagine we'll have an ecstatic pair of Alpine drivers soon to be in the booth with us here. We'll go to interview screen, I'll close this, and I'll invite the drivers to our interview booth. We have Matteo first, so let's just slide him right in. We have our P3 finisher in the Hungarian Grand Prix. We have Matteo, P3 in Hungary. How's it feel, man?
Feels good. I mean, I think second podium this season. Been doing a lot better than last season. Whew. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So with the tire strategies changing around a bunch, you hopped onto the mediums a bit earlier. Actually, I think on the same terms as everyone else.
Yeah. I saw Stelios. So for the inters, I saw Stelios pit, so I decided, okay, I kind of just dove into the pits last second, went on inters. They felt really good. So I just kept going with that. And yeah, I guess the rest is history. I think towards the end there, I could have probably dealt with that a little better. I was a bit impatient behind NBA, but mistakes for the future to like learn,
Yeah, BMF, any questions?
So I don't think so. Yeah, you definitely, like you mentioned before, you mentioned that you've been a little bit more consistent than you were last season.
Oh yeah.
Has there been anything in particular that you might point to that might have helped you kind of be more consistent?
I think generally me just playing the game more has been helped. I guess like a bit of experience now, a bit of league racing experience, like is helping a lot. So yeah, I think that is really, really helping me with this league and maybe some other leagues if I want to do something else.
Yeah, well, great job, man. P3 at the end of the day. I think you did a great job. So,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah. All right, thank you, man. Enjoy your night.
All right, thank you.
All right, so we'll do it as we do with most of our 1-2 finishes in this league. Now we will bring in not only the two drivers, but of course the emphatic Ethan Patel now. So let's bring him in. I don't think emphatic was the right word. I don't know what it means, but it is what it is. Celius Redblast, T-Nell, and Ethan Patel in the broadcast booth now. A 1-2 finish for you guys. I mean, great job. Talk us through it.
Well,
Yes, sir.
I guess the Celios with the drive-through and Mac losing at turn 1. I mean, that opened the door for me, and I was thinking about hitting that safety car when it was transitioning to drives, but we stuck through it. I locked in for a couple laps, caught up to NBA, got a nice switchback, and then I just ran off with it.
All right, Celius.
Yeah, man. I mean, that drive-through was so unlucky because I think 1 second over the delta, and then it was just gone in matter of, like fractions of a second. So, anyways, I mean, I knew that there might be a safe car, so I just pushed, and yeah, we got the 1-2.
All right.
That almost locks us in for constructors too, I believe.
Yeah, that's our main goal.
Yeah, definitely made that race a lot harder than what it should have been.
Yeah.
Strategy calls were not as great. It's just so hard when you have so much to lose compared to drivers in like worse off positions where they could kind of box under the safety car, take the softs, and just pray that it works out. And for them it did, but when you're in P1, you're fighting for the race win. You don't want to take that risk, but sometimes you have to take that risk. We didn't, but we got lucky, and they raced so hard today to get that 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great job from the team tonight. We got our first win for TNL here, and then we have Alpine, and I think any team is first 1-2 in Division 2. So, I mean, just pretty much perfect for Alpine tonight. I mean, of course, you said it was a bit more difficult than it should have been, but at the end, you got the most amount of points that you could have asked for. So, great job to everyone, including you, Ethan, even though you weren't even there, but good job.
I was there.
He was there.
The Chick-fil-A was closed. I could engineer.
Oh, well, great job. Well, Celius, P2, TNL, first win. Congratulations, both of you, and best of luck in the next races here. All right, good night, guys.
Thank you, man.
All right, good night.
Have a good night.
All right, we'll get those two out of here, and it has been quite a Hungarian Grand Prix tonight. What don't you say, Big Mo Frank?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun when we get lots of weather changes like we did. It was definitely a very enjoyable race.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for being in the booth with me tonight. It's been a bit lonely in previous, but it's definitely good to have someone with insight, and hopefully we'll see you here in the future. And this could be an exciting duo to come. But until next week in China, enjoy your night, everyone, and please like and subscribe, and Yeah, just enjoy your MLK Day if you celebrate it today. You have, 3 hours left for me at least. But if you don't, just enjoy your night, and good night, everyone.